3 on the FTOG server. In the last episode, we had a little bit of fun with the random things and made the little item transport system you see behind me. In this episode, I thought it's time we put some of our integrated dynamic skills into use for the rest of the server. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the ideas that we've already covered off in some of the other episodes, add some extra ideas in there, and we're going to spawn shop. So, let's get started. Okay, so we're in spawn, and it's getting a little tricky to find somewhere to put a shop now. I think I found a place between Radix Place, speak of the devil. I think I found a place between Radix Place and the weather controller, and I've placed a little glass shop in. And the idea of this shop is to sell coloured wool and stained glass. So of course what we've got here is we've got a bit of white stained glass and some chiseled white stained glass, and there is a reason, besides having a nice border effect to it, there is actually a reason for having that there. Not quite sure why I'm getting choppy frames at the moment, that wasn't happening before. And of course I've just got the FTOG logo on the roof here. Oh, that's terrible. The idea, of course, is that early in the season we created that machine for colouring the green wool. What I'm going to do is I'll move that down here, and we've got a nice little area to go into down here. Hopefully this lag goes away by the time I actually get down here. That's laggy. Why is it so laggy? So as you can see down here, I put down some atomic reconstructors with lens colours on them. And they'll control the actual glass, but it won't touch the chiseled version, which would be quite useful. I also thought we might use some of this redstone paste from the redstone paste mod, which to make it, all you need to do is just get a slime ball and a piece of redstone, put them together. You get 4 out of that, and each one of those will be one side of here. So as you can see, if we replace it here, it'll place across, and each one of those is 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, using 1 will then make it only 3, and so on and so forth. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to go through, and if you hold down your sneak key, you can place multiple at once. Sorry, gone a bit too far there. If you hold down the sneak key and aim at the middle, you can place all 4 at once. If you aim at the sides, like this, you'll only get the single piece in there, which is probably what we want in this case. So we'll just run this along here. Like that, so that joins them all back up. And we'll run a lever, and my inventory is very messy at the moment. I do apologise for that. Oop. I don't know what's up with the lag, it's very new. Wasn't doing that a moment ago. But as you can see, so place that there, and you'll see it turn red to say it's active. And I think it's got about the same signal strength as the normal redstone, which will be about 15 blocks. And as we get around to here, yeah, see, it's not going to quite make it right around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab some power, but I'm actually going to restart my client and try and get rid of this frame rate problem. And then I'll add all the power in, and I'll be back once I've done that. Okay, so I've placed in all the power, and of course this is coming from a dimensional transceiver coming back from the base, and we've got some energy conduits in there connected up to the atomic reconstructors, and everything is full of power. Now what I want to do is I've placed down a world reader. And what this really does do is, you can see, of course, we can check for weather and thunder and as day as night, daytime, all sorts of various things. And that's just for the overworld itself. Now, what I'm interested in here is, if we set it as night, and we stick that guy, so I put this guy, we'll put this in here. Oops. Yeah, don't think it, yeah. Yeah, don't, I did crash the server, don't put a redstone writer into the display panel. It crashes it. However, let's go back and actually set this properly. What I want to know is, all these numbers seem to have stalled. If I maybe I've broken it, I'll replace it and see what happens. Okay, so world reader with a pipe. We want to go into here. Is that number change? There we go. So what I want to know is if the night value, because if we go is night, if that sets before the if that sets before the Toddy's weather station kicks in, then it will be a very quick little recipe to set the redstone signal. However, we have to actually wait for the daytime to pass. So what I'll do is, rather than sitting here wait for it, when it gets closer to being nighttime, I'll come back and show you how we're going. Okay, so the sun is going down, and it looks like it treats that as night. Let's wait until it changes over and double check. As you can see, I've moved the pipes up. Yep, so that's cool. Got quite a bit of nighttime control there. Let's take this out, and that makes it really easy to use. So what I'm going to do is take this out. And that one. And we'll place a pipe back in there. And a redstone writer there. With the is night on. And then we need to place a paste there. And hopefully that will actually, when it changes to night again, it'll change the color. So if we go into here and we type night mode, look at that, and it stays like that as well. Awesome. We'll put it the day again. So yep, that worked really well. And of course it just goes off once. It does freak out a little bit, so I might put some sound mufflers on there just to quieten it up a little bit. But as you can see, it changed to orange, which is cool, should be quite cool. But what I'm going to do is I'll go grab some sound muffler or two, connect it up to here, and then we'll start working on the next piece. Okay, so I put some sound mufflers in, but it doesn't look like you get much of an improvement nowadays. For example, if we hit it now, so like that, it's pretty dim. Take this one here off. Doesn't seem to make any difference. Take this one here off. It's about the same level. Take this one here off, which is the last one. So there is a major difference between 1 off, or 1, and 0. But then doesn't seem to be any difference with the extra levels, which is a pain actually. Okay. But yeah, I thought I'd bring it back, but just to show you that. So we can probably decrease the noise a little bit, but it doesn't look like that much. What I'll do though is I'll leave the sound mufflers here anyway because it's not going to hurt. But anyway, I'll head off and get ready for the next piece, and I'll meet you when I'm ready. Okay, so as you can see, I have added some storage drawers in. They actually come up to here, and the idea is, of course, the wall will be into these slots here, and we'll have the same over here when that's ready. And what I want to do in this episode, because I think this is probably going to be taking a lot longer than I thought it would initially, I want to make this display panel here rotate on how many items are actually stored in here. So to do that, I brought across all of the various different blocks, including this guy. What? Ah, okay. Whoops, took that out. Let me grab that. Okay, so put that back there. And of course, there's a cable running down here from the facades up there. The display is going along here, going underneath us all the way over to here. And if I understand it correctly, though, we should be able to put that into there now and make a portable one. Okay. So first thing we want to do is I've got here a world reader and an inventory reader. And the world reader is the same one we've got up here, but I'm using it for a different purpose at this point. So we're going to put a variable in, which I need to label first, I think. Let's call diamond. No, not diamond. We will call this one total time. And we will also need. Okay, that's weird. We will also need one. Well, actually, let's come back to that. So we'll go into here, and of course, in the world reader, we scroll down a little bit. There is a option for total time, because this name won't change. This number won't change at all. And we want to put the total time variable we've got here into there. Now we also want to make. Oops. We also want to make another variable. Actually, we'll make two variables. One for the number of slots, which we'll call no slots. I'm trying to be a little bit short on names. And we'll also need another one called inventory items. And if we go into here, I've also got, connected to the drawer controller, here I've got an inventory reader. If we go into here, much like we had for the chest in the previous one of these we were working on, we have all our various options. So we're just interested here in the number of slots. Where are the number of slots there? Which is the total number of slots that are available. So all told, this thing has 28. And we also want to track down. Oh, this is new. Ooh, I think that's for refined storage. That could be quite cool. Anyway, we want to track down our items. So once again, just like we had in the previous one, we just want to know the items, which returns us a list. Now that we've got all that out of the way, we're going to need some constant variables. So let's create some integers. We'll make the first one 1. And we'll call this one int1. And take it out. Didn't name it. And we also want another one called for 2. Put into there. Where are you getting diamond from? Oh, I done wrong there. There we go. Int 2. And so our total time here, of course, is the number of seconds that have passed. I think it's in seconds that have passed since the world started. And what actually I want to do is we want to be able to change. We don't want to change it every second. And we'll make it maybe every 30 seconds. So we'll put that into there. I need to give it a name, don't I? Be helpful if it stays in there. 30. Actually, let's call it int wait. Call it wait. And of course, so we could change that one there. If it's too long, we could change it. We can just put it back in here and make it 60 or 10 or whatever we need. So that gives us our constants that we'll need for now. We have our total time, the number of slots. Oh, picked it up. Didn't notice it falling down. And our inventory items. So there are our constants that we're getting, or at least our main variables we're working on. The next thing we want to do is go into here, and the value we have for total time is a type long. But if you notice the other ones, they're actually, well, at least with the number of slots, integer, and of course we defined all these integer. So we have to actually convert the total time to an integer. To do that, we use a cast, and there should be a long integer. There it is, which we'll put that into there, and a variable in there, and we'll call this one here int tot time. And has it named it? Not yet. So that gives us our casted values. So now all the values are working with integers. Next thing we want to do is some mathematical calculations. So we want to do an addition. Our number of slots there plus our 1. That's why we had our integer 1 defined. So we add our 1 on, place it into there, and we will call this one here int no slots 1, because of course it's been plus 1, and that doesn't work. Okay, so that's int no slots. Next thing we want to do is divide this value, divide the total time. So we can place this over here because I've finished with that one, and we just replace it with that one. We now want to do a division, which is the total time, this guy, divided by our wait time. Okay, so this then becomes a number that has been divided by 60 or 30 or however long our wait is. So we'll call this one here int delay. Sure, there's probably been a name I could call it, but we'll call it that anyway. Okay, right, so that's been named, which means we can move this guy over to here, that guy to there. Not sure I got that there. And put Did I move you? Number of slots. Move this over to there. Okay, so we've got this value here, which is the delay. So that's the number of wait times that passed. Now the next thing, of course, is we've got this number of slots. Now we use both these values together in a modulus, and the modulus will when it gets up to a certain number, or when it gets up to your limit, it will reset back to 0. So this is where our number of slots comes in. We place that into there, like that. And we also want to add in our, finish that there, let's get rid of that. That's the delay, I think it was. That one there. So this is our ticker, basically. And this is the when we reset the ticker back to 0. So we set that into there. Anybody who knows programming and modulus should know what that means, but still. So we'll call this one here what slot. Take it out, put it back in, take it out. Okay, there we go. So that's what slot. Now, the other thing I found when testing it is that the list that comes back from the, where is it, our inventory items here, seems to have an extra item in it. So we actually want to add 2 onto the value. So we'll go back to our addition here. Addition. So we'll put the integer 2 into there, and the what slot into there, and put the variable card into there, and call it show slot. That's right. Okay. Cool. And then last but not least, the beauty of itself is item. We want to return the specific item. Not item, get. So we want to get from our list, from this our list here, we want to return our show slot. And that goes into here. And this is the display item. Cool. So in theory, I don't actually need to name this one, but for my purposes, so I can track which one's meant to go where, this of course will tell me instantly this is the display item. So that's actually the basics of what we're going to do here set up. Let's put these into the variable store. These are of course all our existing variables from the the original build we done with integrated dynamics with the wool, which I have to configure into the system, but I've just put them in here for now so that I can kind of remember where things are. So anyway, I'll put these guys in here. So
and 1 and 2, the int weight, the total time, the items, the number of slots, the number of slots plus 1, the delay, which we don't need a spot for. No, we don't. That B maybe? Anyway, let's do the last one in there. The what slot, which is that one. The show slot, which is our plus variable, and the total time, of course, which is the magical number here.
And then our display value is there. So that puts all of this there. Let's go up here. So we'll put this guy into here, like that. And hopefully, oh, no, it'll error. This aspect expects an integer, but a long was given. Okay, let's get in here. What I've done, I think, is in here somewhere, I put the wrong thing in. Okay, so it'd be nice if these actually came up when it was erroring, which one it was is erroring. This aspect is one of these guys. So one of them is not using it's using top time instead of int top time, I think I find. So that's int 2. Yeah, I think that might be the problem. So let's redo that on there. 82 int weight. Okay, so we need to put what we're doing the delay. So it needs to be division. Back into there. one, that one, and that one. Take it out. Arg! Okay, so we place that one up there, that one up there, and I think it was that one there. Close that, and we will go upstairs again. Hopefully, helps if I actually go upstairs. Okay. Hopefully, that should mean it works. Okay, well, it's displaying item. Now, it's going to display, because there's so many empty things here at the moment, it's going to display nothing. But of course, once there's items in all here, it should actually show something useful. The only concern I've got is all these basic drawers, of course, are also showing nothing. So what I might do is add in a filter to take out all the empties. Oh, I saw it show something for a second. Okay, so let's change that around a little bit. What I'll do is I'll play around and I'll come back and I'll show you what I've changed, because it'll probably be easier than showing you as I test it. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, looks like it's working. 31, 1. Right, cool. Okay, so I have made it work, as you can see. All I've done is, so most of this is the same. As you can see, I've dropped a few things out. Makes it a little bit simpler. We've still got our inventory items. We've still got our wait time, which I've increased to 60 seconds. And of course, we've got the integer 1. Still got a total time. And we're casting that to a integer. We have the delay, which is the wait time, the total time divided by the wait time. And of course, we've got the modulus, which is selecting the item. Now, you'll note that I'm no longer adding 2 into there. I've actually dropped off the 2, the show slot, which is the 2, and I'm no longer using the count of items. Now, the reason for that is I'm now doing a filter on not null, and yeah, so I'm doing a filter on not null, and that's basing on the list. So the list, so now we have only items, which is filtered for all the items that are not null. And then I've replaced the inventory slot number with the length of the list, which is our list here, because of course this value here no longer applicable, is no longer practical, because of course it was a much higher value. So this one here, of course, is just that value. I've left the same name there so that I didn't have to redo everything. But technically, it's just it's using the length now. The items up above, or the get command here, is pretty much just getting the new list and what slot. So much easier to work with, and as you can see, it loops through quite nicely. In fact, if we go down here, and I'll just grab the list from here, and I'll show you what it's pulling out. So we take this guy out and put this guy in. You'll see, of course, that it's the brown wool, the wool, and the green wool are the 3 items it sees. So that's all it's looking through. So brown wool is 0, wool is 1, and green wool is 2. So when it gets back around to 3, because of course it's the total, so there's 3 there, plus 1, it'll then loop around. So it'll go brown, wool, green, loop, brown, wool, green, loop, and so on and so forth. If we add another item in there, so let's add some, I don't know, cobble. You'll see it adds cobble at the bottom. So I think for now it's going to do it. I do, of course, my plans were to include the wool production and everything else in this episode, but I think we're pretty low on time as it is. So I'll move that to the next episode. If you've got any questions, comments, suggestions, or just want to say, ow, that hurts, then leave a comment down below. If you've enjoyed the episode or learned anything from it, please do hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and like what you saw, have a look around, but don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to go check out the other YouTubers on the server. But otherwise, have a great day and see ya!